chatted last week, after he, in his pastor's moment, he talked about Governor Snyder's decision to not appoint people to speak for Detroit on an official basis for the 11th month until the next election. And that's just not right. Pastor asked me if I would do a little work on this and find out how can we, as individuals and as a group, convince and try to convince Governor Snyder that the decision that he made was not the right decision and needs to change it and appoint someone to take Representative Conyers' place during this period until the next election. So what I did was I called my state representative, Jeremy Moss. I called his office and had them do some research on how do we contact Governor Snyder's office and get the word to him that he just made the wrong decision. So I'm going to read some things to you, but Pastor has made some copies, and if you didn't pick up one on the way in, they're on the table out in the lobby so that you can pick one up on the way home, because they're telephone numbers, email addresses, and addresses that you want to write. So if you want to call, his telephone number for his constituent line is 517, you don't have to write this down because it's going to be out in the hallway, 517-335-7858, and the office is open from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock during the week. If you prefer to email Governor Snyder, it's all in lowercase, rick.snyder@michigan.gov. Or if you would prefer to write a letter, and oftentimes a handwritten letter is much more effective than either a telephone call or an email, because the politician knows that you're upset enough that you're going to take the time to sit down with a pen and paper and write out your thoughts and send them to them. There's been some studies done in the past, and I understand that one handwritten letter represents 50 people feeling the same way. So what they do is they take each letter they get, multiply it by 50, and know how many people are upset with what's going on. The U.S. mail address is Governor Rick Snyder, Governor of Michigan, Post Office Box 30013, Lansing, Michigan 48909. And I would encourage you to kind of stay in this frame of mind. Whether you call or write, do not make this a partisan issue. It's not a partisan issue. It's a fairness, ethical, and integrity issue. Whether you call or write, be calm, straightforward with your comments. Do not make this a racial issue, and do not call names. It's real easy to say, call the race card and say, you're doing this because all the people in Detroit are black. That may be so, and may not be so. But don't give the governor an excuse for not doing something because, oh, that's just one of those folks that always pull the race card. It's a fairness issue. People need to be represented in Congress, and they need someone, even if the person that he appoints doesn't want to succeed Representative Conyers in the election. But they need to be covered. And it's a fairness issue because it's unfair for the residents of Detroit to go nearly a year without a representative in Congress to speak for and fight for their rights in this congressional district. It's an ethical issue because it's unethical for the governor to turn his back on Detroit when he swore to take care of all of his constituents in Michigan. Even if John Conyers' Washington and local staff remains on the job, they cannot go on the floor of Congress and push for for or argue against issues. Detroit has begun to turn around, and this presents a major roadblock. And it's an integrity issue because Governor Snyder raised his hand when he was sworn in to office to protect and defend the citizens of Michigan. If he abandons this promise to protect and defend, where is his integrity? So this information will be outside for you, and I encourage you to get involved. Don't be a sideline critic. Don't be a couch potato and let somebody else do it. It's not going to get done unless we do it. So, are we our brother's keeper? Yes, we are. And whether we live in Detroit, in Conyers district or not, it's just the right thing to do to support the people of Detroit. They've suffered enough, and they're starting to turn around. And they need all the help that's possible, and we can do something. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for doing that research. Christ Church is always concerned with uplifting, with spiritual well-being, and fighting oppression in whatever form it exists. That's what Christ Church is about. Yes. Christ stood up for people and issues. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Upcoming, let's see what we've got going on. Mark your calendars. Bible study, we're continuing. We will have Bible study this Thursday at 7 p.m. We are continuing to study the book of Luke. We're getting into this week, we'll be in chapter 2, and we're going to be talking about the birth of Jesus, actually, which is very timely. We hit that just right. Our kids are continuing their clothing drive, and we're asking that you continue to bring and donate new and gently used clothes, pajamas, shoes. Our goal is 101 items. We probably should add some zeros in there, looking at what's downstairs. But continue to bring those in, and we will get those out into the hands of some children who will appreciate and deserve them and be a blessing to them. Amen?
Amen.
We will